So yes, the title is true. That $600 Gucci t-shirt actually cost you $923. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. Now, I struggled with financial literacy growing up. I didn't really have a lot of guidance on how to manage money effectively, and I didn't have the greatest relationship with money. For that reason, as I began my entrepreneurial journey early on, any money that I made, I found a way to spend it. And I wasn't looking after taxes, I wasn't looking after my GST, and I'm so glad that now I'm at a point where I actually understand how things work. And when I finally understood how to respect money and how money truly works when it comes to making it and spending it, that's when things began to truly change in my life. So here's something that people often neglect. Before you purchase something, I want you to understand that anything that you physically buy, you're typically buying with after-tax dollars, which means that you actually had to make a lot more than just $600 to buy that $600 t-shirt. Now, obviously I'm using the Gucci t-shirt as an example here, but this applies for anything: a car, a holiday, a pair of shoes, whatever it may be. Understanding this is going to be very important for you when moving forward. So here's a good example. Let's say you went on a $10,000 holiday. You may be thinking, well, I have to make $10,000 in order to be able to go on this holiday, when in reality you have to make a lot more than $10,000, because you have to pay for that holiday with after-tax dollars. So here's actually how you calculate it. So let's say you roughly pay 35% of your yearly income in tax. The way you'd calculate this is you take the price of the trip, which is $10,000, and divide it by 1 minus your tax rate. So if your tax rate is 35%, it's going to be 0.35. 1 minus 0.35 is 0.65, and then 10,000 divided by 0.65 will actually give you $15,384. So that's how much money you had to make in order to actually pay for this $10,000 holiday. Now, why is this important? Well, number one, it gives you a newfound perspective on how much things actually cost you. And number two, it actually matters more for business owners and entrepreneurs than it does for employees. Employees, you guys are already receiving your paychecks after tax is taken out. So when you look at your bank account and you look at your yearly income, you're going to be making decisions on what you can afford based on what's there, which is already after tax money. Whereas entrepreneurs and business owners, on the other hand, we get paid and then we have to take out the GST and the tax ourselves. But what most entrepreneurs do is, if they've got $10,000 in their bank account, they haven't taken out their GST and tax money because looking at that $10,000 bank account looks really nice, and they don't want to reduce it down to $5,500 or $6,000. So what ends up happening? They end up buying things thinking they've got 10 grand, when in reality, $4,000 of that 10 grand or $4,500 of that 10 grand was the government's money. Now this, I'm telling you, is from experience. Trust me. This is how business owners find themselves with no money for tax when the tax bill comes around, because they're not really factoring in what things are truly costing them. So if they're making $100,000 a year in profit and they spend 90 grand, they may think they've got $10,000 left over, but that $100,000, when you take out the tax, is really 65 grand and you've spent 90. So you're actually down by $25,000 when the tax bill comes around. So what's the lesson here? Am I like everyone else who's going to tell you to save your money and not spend a single dollar? No. Invest your money, spend your money, go on holidays, buy a Gucci t-shirt, do whatever it is that you want, so long as you actually understand the true cost of what you're buying and that you can genuinely afford it. I can't tell you how many times I have paid for something thinking I have the money for it, but in reality, I've spent 60% out of my own pocket and 40% out of the government's pocket, only to come and realize that the government is relentless and they're going to ask for their 40% at some stage, and I'm going to have to cough that up. Now, thankfully, I don't make these mistakes now, and I'm trying to get you to avoid making them too. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you found it valuable, as usual, for the sake of the YouTube algorithm, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram for daily posts. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Take care.